Yeah, perfect. Awesome. All right, let's get started then. So, the workshop today here is to introduce to you guys the Teams request, what we're calling Teams request management, Power Automate flow. And so the point of this flow is really to connect three different Microsoft applications. Number one, Microsoft Forms. Number two, Microsoft Planner and Microsoft Teams, and create automation between these three applications through, using Power Automate flow, and turning the combination of these three applications into a light request management system that'll really hopefully help you guys with being able to intake work into your teams, and being able to manage work across your teams, collaborate better, and being able to hopefully get out of like an email inbox system that you guys are using. Okay, if you guys are using that. Um, this the Teams request management flow will hopefully completely digitize the process of submitting requests. So if you guys have any paper processes or any like email-based processes, hopefully it'll help eliminate that, or it'll help improve that. And once the submission is complete, hopefully it'll also help with collaboration between your teams and allow the task to be worked on and actioned on collaboratively amongst your teams. So three main aspects of this flow template that we'll be going over shortly will be: number one, you submit a work request via Microsoft Forms. So here, using Microsoft Forms, the requesters for work, which is simply complete a form submission for your request through MS Forms, or leveraging the full features of Microsoft Forms. You can also, if you have a website, if you have a page, a Drupal page that's currently hosting some kind of a link, some kind of web form, you could always choose to embed your Microsoft form into that existing web page so that people are familiar with where to go to make submissions as well. And once it's submitted, Power Automate will do the rest. And what is the rest? Well, you can imagine if you want to incorporate notifications, automatic notifications, right? And as well as tasks, automatically creating tasks in Microsoft Planner. Okay, we can configure. We can configure within the flow the ability to notify your teams via email or via Teams, right? That someone has submitted a new request, someone has submitted a new work, and the Power Automate flow will automatically create a new task as well in your Teams task planner application. And once the task is created in the Teams planner application, you can then leverage the full features of the Microsoft Planner application to collaborate with your team on assigning the work and completing the tasks that your team has to work on. Okay, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to just jump in. I can't really see your faces right now because I'm sharing my screen. So feel free to jump in whenever you have any question that comes to mind. So without further ado, I'm going to shift over to a demo of, not this one. I'm going to shift over to a demo of, actually, yeah, it's supposed to here, of this flow template that we have here. All right. So like I mentioned a couple slides back, right over here. So this flow works to connect three applications in the Microsoft suite, and it all starts with Microsoft Teams. Now, hopefully you guys are familiar with Microsoft Teams, but if you guys aren't, Microsoft Teams is Microsoft's solution to to digital surveying, to giving people a means to fill out a digital form. And what's really nice about this Microsoft Forms is that if you have a traditional web form, okay, well, first of all, if you have a paper form, this obviously helps digitize that. But if you have a traditional web form as well, what's really nice is that Microsoft Forms allows you to simply embed the forms that you create into any existing web page that you have today. Okay. And so here I have for the purposes of our demo today, I have a demo form. Okay, so it's just that hopefully this showcases some of the questions the types of questions that you can ask, in perhaps your form. And so we have questions that are going to be, text-based. We have questions that could be a date. We have questions that could ask users to upload a file, a document. And of course, we also have drop downs and we have radio buttons as possible questions as well. So here is the demo form that I have going on over here. And so we're imagining this would be sort of, what you could post to intake requests for your team, requests for work for your team. Okay. And what I've done here for this demo is that I've actually gone ahead and embedded this into just a demo site that I have here. Okay, and all I needed to do was again just take the embed iframe over here, just copy that and paste it into my web page HTML section of this. So here you see my web form, right? Here you see my Microsoft form. It's over here. And again, this would be really helpful if you have a web page that you direct people in your department to, and that you may have like a link to a PDF form there today, or you may have like a Drupal web form there today. But hopefully this allows you to easily replace that with a Microsoft form, and then you can leverage all the great features that comes with Power Automate, being able to connect a lot of automation features to this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in this form, assuming maybe I'm an instructor, or maybe I'm another staff of your member of your department, and I have some work that needs to be submitted to your team. I some questions about, let's say, financial expense reimbursements. So let's say that's my question. I have some questions about financial expense reimbursements, and I'm going to select, let's say, February 2nd as the date that I would like this to be due. Also going to select I'm going to select, let's say, a PDF file that I'm going to attach here as well. Okay, into my request, and based on the type of help I'm looking for, it sounds like I'm looking for financial help, so I'm going to go ahead and pick financial over here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and submit this. Now, as you can see, the moment I submit this, it's completed, it's successful. Now, immediately, right, I'm going to jump into the Power Automate flow that we have here, and I'm going to show you what's happening in the background the moment that that is submitted. Now, traditionally, if you don't use Power Automate to connect these applications and to build in automations to it, what it'll do is just simply notify the form owner, which is me, that, hey, look, somebody has submitted a new response to your form, and you're gonna have to go in and check, and then perhaps turn that into a task for your team, and then still having to manually coordinate that and collaborate amongst your team to get that completed. But what we're going to be looking at here is how Power Automate automates a lot of that by, first of all, okay, sensing that there's a trigger here for when a new response is submitted, and what is the form that it is looking at for that trigger is the demo form that we have here, the UTM AO demo form. Now, what does it do when the moment a new response is submitted? Well, it's going to get the response details from this form, okay, with the corresponding response ID. And of course, this is dynamic, okay, so it's going to be this, I'm going to show, hopefully this will also showcase how low code, no code this stuff is. A lot of it is drag and drop, click and select kind of thing, right? So as you can see here, it's going to be able to dynamically know that, it's going to be based on the response ID, all right? So you can just click to enter the value, dynamic values that you want in there. In addition to getting the response details, we're also going to get the responder's information. Okay, so I have a step in here that gets the user profile. So as you can see, when I click on the value field for the user at UPN field, it's going to give me some options that I can just select and click and select. All right. Now, for me here, all right, as you can see, responders email is the one that I selected, and it's right over here. It's for you to select as well. So again, I can just simply click on this to select that as the user UPN to look up for. Okay, so based on my submission, because I'm the submitter, it's going to look up my info, right, based on my email, the responder's email. Now we get to some of the more powerful stuff, which is immediately, okay, we want to get it away. We want to get the submission, the form submission out of, the form owner's space. Okay, we want to get it into perhaps a shared space that the team has access to, as well as the form owner. Because sometimes, you want to create a form, you're perhaps the administrator for that website, or you're perhaps the administrator for intaking requests that people reach out to, but you want to get it out of your mailbox or your personal OneDrive into a shared. What we're using here is a SharePoint site, and we're using a list to store everything. So we want to get into a shared space, okay, for such that you can other team members on your team can also look at the request submissions and as well as the submission details. And so in this step you see here is that we're doing exactly that. We're taking it out of my we're taking it out of my response, my form response, into a shared SharePoint site, and it's a shared list in our SharePoint site. And I'm pulling the information like what is the response ID, what is the question response, right? The response to what is the question, the response to selecting the selecting the type of help they're looking for, and as well as the deadline, the requested deadline. All right. And what does that look like in terms of on the actual SharePoint site itself? As I'm going to just refresh this. So this is our SharePoint site. This is our shared SharePoint site. This is our list that we're using to demo this today. As you can see here, I've just submitted this one over here. It's got a little symbol. It's got a little icon saying this is new. Okay. So as you can see, it automatically pulled it out of my own OneDrive space, right? Because that form belonged to me, and it's gone ahead and created this new entry in my list. What was the response to response one? Well, there was some questions about financial expense reimbursements. The type of help I'm looking for is financial, and the requested deadline that I put in was February 2nd. It also has it also has my attachment tied to this entry as well, so that anyone from your team can always reference what that attachment was, or as well as any other responses that were associated with this. Now, that's not all, right? Because again, we want to be able to connect MS Forms with the Task Planner application, which is a really nice interface to help your teams to manage your work. Okay, so immediately what I'm doing next, the next step that we're doing here is that we are parsing the JSON data. We're parsing the JSON output for the file upload, right? For the file that's been uploaded. And what this step does simply is that it allows me to start using a lot of the values that comes with that file upload, like the file upload name, link, ID, type, size, etc., in my flow as well. And you're going to see why I really want that in a second here. Okay. Now immediately we get to a condition. All right. So again, a lot of these are all just drag and drop, click and select kind of thing, right? So all you need to do is have some Boolean logic here, right? In this condition field, all I'm checking for is to see whether or not my selection for the type request I need is equivalent to either administrative or, right? If it is administrative, then go down a separate path, right? If it's not administrative, then I would check to see if it's a financial type of request. Similarly, over here in condition 3, if it's not a financial type request, I'm checking to see if it's academic. And then finally, if it's not academic, then it must be the other type request, all right? So let's say, we know that when I submitted this, I selected the financial, that it was a financial type request. So it's going to go down this branch over here. Condition 2, it's going to check if I selected financial, and I did. And it's going to say, yeah, it's going to know that I selected financial as the type of request I'm looking for, and it's going to go down this branch into, yes, it's a financial type request. And what is it going to do? It's going to get the attachment. Okay, again, it's going to pull it out of my personal space, right? My personal OneDrive space, and it's going to add the attachment, all right, to that shared drive space that I have here. Okay. Now, beyond just doing that, right, we're also going to go ahead and create a new task in our task planner. All right. So this is also a really powerful piece, is that instead of having to manually, notify your team that, hey, look, there's a task that's been submitted to us, and this is something that we got to collaborate and work on, right? It'll just do that for you. This flow will just do that for you. It'll just automatically create a new task in your task planner, right, that your team's going to be looking at, and it's going to populate it with the information that we're getting from that original submission, like what was the question, right, of that request submission, and who it was submitted by, right? As you can see, a lot of the information that we're pulling from the beginning parts of this flow is going to really play in here. Okay, it's going to also get the start date, the due date, and it's going to get the assigned user IDs, or it's going to also populate the assigned user ID with the who submitted it. Of course, all this is customizable as well. Okay. We have a 1 minute delay before we update a task. So this is just because that we want to give the flow time to create the task before then updating it further. So next step after the 1 minute delay is that we've created the task. Now we want to update the task with the detailed description. All right. And so again, this is all customizable to whatever description that you want to have. But out of the box here, we just have, hey, look, if you want to chat with the requester, all right, we're going to be, we're creating that custom link that you can just copy and paste into your browser to begin a Teams chat with the requester. We also have the link. This is where we also have the link, right? That's the link of the attachment here for link of attachment, and we're also associating that with the task itself. And finally, instead of a email notification, of course, it can be an email notification, but we're here to get out of emails. So what we have for notification is a Teams notification to maybe a group chat or maybe a Teams channel that you have going on with your team. Okay, so here you can see I'm using the Teams Flow bot here and to post a new message, a new notification in our group chat. And this is our Teams group chat. Okay. Over here. And of course, all of this is, you can see it's selectable. Okay. It's going to let you select, what you want, and it's going to be smart in terms of populating it. So hopefully, again, it's user-friendly, intuitive, and drag and drop, click and select. And the message that we're going to have that's going to notify your team is going to be a custom message that we created here. It's going to say, hey, this is the person that submitted the request, has just submitted a new financial request, and it has been added to your team's to-dos. Check it out in the MS Planner app, and that's a link to that MS Planner app. Now, as you know, I just went ahead and submitted that request, right, not too long ago. So I'm gonna go in and see if that has happened. And so if I go flip over to my teams, all right, I should be getting a notification right over here. My Teams channel. Did I? Did I get a notification in my Teams channel? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. Oh, maybe I didn't. Okay, this is good because you now see how you can go about. Yeah, okay, it's still running. All right. All right, so we're gonna click into this. Okay, as you can see, it's still running. We're gonna see where it's at so far.
HY, just to let you know, Teams is acting up right now.
Teams is acting up right now.
Yeah.
This is perfect timing.
I know, perfect timing for the demo.
This is just perfect. Okay, so here's where we're getting. Here's where the automation is at today. It's at this condition. As you can see, it's noted that it wants to, it's found a match, right, for financial request. And it's currently trying to create that task. All right, that's beautiful. I'll try to submit another one. And for this one, for the second try here, I'm going to just type in test. I'm going to call this admin, test admin. I'm going to select Friday as well. Administrative, I'll still upload a file. This one. All right, submit. Okay, so if I go back into my flow and my runs, great. You can see here it's also running. All right, that was pretty quick. All right, so it's also running. So we should have created the item. All right, we're gonna go over here into our SharePoint site. Great, excellent. As you can see, new entry here. Test admin, administrative, February 2nd is my due date. And here's that attachment that I had. Yeah, overall, this should take about a minute. Actually, so while that runs, I'm going to go ahead and go into my flow here, just to take a closer look at these. Yeah. Inbox, create task, delay, after each date, post message. Post message. Okay. See what I like here. I'm just going to update this step in my flow. Okay. It's a good time to, I guess, show how you can add a new action. So you can add a new action a couple different ways by clicking on either new step here, or you can just simply click, if you want to add a new step between your steps, just click on the little plus icon to insert a step. I'm going to insert a step here. I'm going to insert the exact same step here. I'm going to try to post the teams, post to teams. Okay, right over here. I'm going to post a message in a chat or channel. Same thing, I'm going to use the flow bot to post. I'm going to post in, all right, a group chat. All right, as you can see, it's really easy to select, and it's going to look for, oh, oh, it just went through? Oh, wow, okay, that was such a delay. Yeah, so Dennis is on this group chat. That's how he's able to tell, but that's the expected behavior, all right, although I was expecting like a couple minutes ago. So this is what your team should see, all right, in your group chat, that, hey, look, this person, me, just submitted a new financial request. So this was actually quite a few minutes ago. Okay, submitted a new financial request and has been added to your team's to-dos. Now, we've also included in here a link to go to your team's Microsoft Planner application. All right, if you click that, it'll bring you to your team's Planner app. Okay, just let me sign in here. I have to go through no two-factor. Excellent. Great. All right, so here's our team's test task planner. Planner, as you can see here, my planner board. And because it was a financial type request, okay, you can see that it has created for my team this new task over here. All right. As you can see, all the details are here, who it was requested by, a requester. You can always copy this link as well to get the chat going with the requester on Teams. Bum, bum, bum. Here's the attachment. Yeah, here's attachment. And now you can leverage the features that exist in Microsoft Planner. And Microsoft Planner features hopefully will help you guys, number one, being able to assign this to, other members of your team. So let's say this was something that, Dennis should be working on. I can go ahead and assign this to Dennis to be working on. Okay, you can always update this with his comments, like this is a done, or this is working in progress. So that it keeps the team up to date on what's going on. And of course, you could always go ahead and, once Dennis is complete with his task, he can always go ahead and check this off, right? And it becomes complete. And you can see the list and archive as well of all the completed tasks that your team has done. Now that we do see that has been successful, okay, so we do also see that this one has also been successful. This one, the tested min one as well. We see that, test min is submitted by me. We see the attachment. That's great. Of course, you can go ahead and assign it to people as well. Let's say I want to assign this one to Chantel. I can do that. Okay. As well as your team can just look into your board as well to see what tasks you have, and go ahead and complete and update that and collaborate really effectively without the need to have that person be able to manually triage or process any of your incoming requests. Okay, so Chantal can go ahead and pull this work, do the work, and go ahead and complete the work. Meanwhile, keeping everyone up to date about there was new work coming in about what she's done in the work, right? And then putting that into the archive of completed tasks that you guys have in your team. Now, because I know that these two flows were complete, I'm going to go back into the Power Automate flow here. Okay, I'm not going to save that. And it should show me that, great, as you can see here, this one has seeded. Okay, took about 15 minutes, which is uncommon because as you can see, the other flows that we've tested with before today were all about 1 minute, a minute 15 mark. So definitely something going on. But yeah, let's see that it's completed. Now, if that was not, hopefully that was user friendly, intuitive. But if you're looking for even a more user friendly view of what your workflow looks like, you can always click here on process mining, and this is a feature that is native to flows in Power Automate. Okay, when you click on improve your flow, what it'll do for you is it'll nicely summarize your workflow that you have today. So in this now digital format that you're now intaking requests, submitting requests, and working on requests collaboratively, you can now see, right, what that workflow looks like from top to bottom, right? And what are the possible deviations that you have today? It also gives you time on, how many times it's run, metrics on how much time it's run, and how much time it took to run it. And obviously today it's going to go up because our average is going to go up because that was weird that it took like 15 minutes to get that flow running. Yeah. Just gonna go back one more here, and I'm gonna make sure that the other flow has also completed. My flows. This one. Oh, still running. Okay. See where it's at. I created it. Oh, I know where it's at. It's at the Teams. It's at the Teams. That's why, because I haven't gotten the Teams message notification. Oh, just came in. Okay. So a new administrative request. All right, good. Now, now it's in your MS Planner. Now, what's really powerful about Teams now is that your team, yourself and your team, you are able to just add and integrate the planner application into your Teams app itself. Okay, so I have it right over here, tasks by planner and to do. So if I click on this, I don't actually need to go to the browser page for my MS Planner app. I can just actually access it through Teams. As you can see here, I'm already in my test task planner. Teams, my planner app on Teams, and it's the exact same board, right, that you'll see if you clicked on that link to go to your MS Planner app, except this is wholly integrated into the Teams application itself. Okay, so you don't have to really go anywhere. You can just, do your work from Teams and do your collaboration off of Teams as well. Yeah. Now, one thing to note here is that we are, even though we are using notifications that sends out a message to Teams, you can always customize. So this is a template that you can just take. You don't have to configure these, configure all those conditions, or you can just use it and customize it. And what you can do instead of a Teams notification is to simply have a email notification go out instead. Okay, so similarly, I'm going to go ahead and show how you can add a flow, or sorry, how you can add a step to your flow. And instead of a Teams notification, post a message or in a chat or in a channel, I'm just going to go ahead and select send an email. Okay, and so what we can automate in terms of notification here is to, instead of having a Teams channel, or you can have both, right? To simply send a email notification to everyone on your team as well. That's me. Yeah, it's me. New request incoming, and you can always customize the body of your message as well. Okay. And once you do that, once you're happy with your new customized flow or the flow that you have, all you need to do is go ahead and save this. Right? It takes a minute to save. And if you do have any errors, right, Power Automate is smart enough to offer you a flow checker, which will check your flow for you to make sure that you don't have any errors, so you're good to go. And make sure that when you do have a flow running, when you do have flow that's ready to be run, make sure that it is turned on. So right now, as you can see, it's turned on, right? If it's not turned on, you're going to see the turn on option over here. If it is turned on, obviously you will see the turn off option over here, right? And there it is. There you have it. I don't know. Hopefully that was straightforward. Are there any glaring questions anybody have? See a hand up there. Yeah. Lisa? Yeah.
I do have a question, and hopefully this doesn't sound really dumb. Um, so you're creating a flow each time you get a submission come through. Is that correct? I just want to clarify that part.
Well, it's the same flow that was already created. So it's the same flow that
Okay,
you
so you
create
don't have to
once.
recreate that flow for each ticket that comes through. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay,
exactly.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
this flow part seems very complex. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know.
No, that's a great question. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's one flow that's just you turn on and it runs. And here you can monitor the summary of your flow and the number of runs of your flow and the run status kind of thing as well.
Okay,
Um,
perfect.
yeah, so you don't need to, and hopefully to simplify that even further, right? This flow is it's kind of templated, right? It's ready to go. All those are just kind of out of the box default functionalities. So like I said, you can always go, like, once you get a copy of this flow, it's yours. You can add, remove, customize it to however whatever it is that you need. And we're here to help you with that. And once you have that in a state that you're ready, you're happy with, you're comfortable with running, run it, turn it on, run it, and then you're good to go. Just
Okay,
automate
perfect.
your life, hopefully. Yeah.
Um, and then the second question I had is, just because I often refer to old like emails that went out or old messages, is there a way that this, like, say the whole task is then completed, is there a way to then go back to see the archived ones? I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So actually, I'm going to my Teams Planner app over here. So so as your team completes your work, you can always to complete you just check off the task here, the little checkbox here to complete the work, right? The moment it's complete, it's not going to delete anything. It's just going to keep it under completed tasks, right? So for the completed task, you can always go into it and see, hey, what was done, who did it, how long it took, what was involved as well. Um, is that what you meant?
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Thank you.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Teresa.
So I'm new to Power Automate. I'm just like exploring the like function on Office 365. So today you showed us like, submitting a form and then kind of having a flow to like end up at your MS Teams.
Yeah.
Are there other ways to use this? So for example, someone submitted a document into like a SharePoint folder and
Yeah.
then kind of having a flow to like end up as like an email or an MS Teams message.
No, that's a great question. That's absolutely. Um, so that was actually demoed in one of our previous workshops. How to do that. But yeah, in short, yes. This flow, this demo, it's specific on when someone submits a request through like a form or something. But you can definitely have your what we call triggers being. Okay, so as you can see, I'm going to go to triggers for you. You can definitely have your triggers being, for example, when an item is created, right? This means that when somebody uploads a new file to your SharePoint directory or shared SharePoint directory or something like that, or when you create a new file in there, you can have it trigger and you can have it send out like emails or what have you. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, great, thank you. And are those previous sessions, have they been recorded and can I find them somewhere?
Yes, they are. Are you in our Teams channel by any chance already?
No,
Um,
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah. If they are recorded, we can send you the link. And if you're ready to, um, so just preface this with saying that Power Automate, there's a free version and there's a licensed version for Power Automate. And the licensed version is available on demand to all UTM staff and faculty. So all you need to do is just submit a ticket saying, "Hey, look, I want to get the full license for Power Automate," which will enable sharing and copy features as well, and as well as any future features come down. And what we'll do the moment you just request for that is that we'll get you the license. So and within 24 hours you'll get that. And number two, we'll just add you to that Teams channel, which is just the community of everyone here at UTM that does use Power Automate for hopefully to automate their work lives. And in there you'll be caught up to date, kept up to date with our events, our past events, and we'll be posting like new workshops, office hours, and as well as recordings to it there as well. Yeah.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any, yeah, any other questions? Yeah, Carolina?
Hey, thanks for this. So if there are no other questions about this particular flow, I'm wondering if I can ask a general question about how flows, how Power Automate differs from Power BI. I'm not familiar with Power BI, and it's a term that comes up quite a lot. And so I'm curious what that is and how it ties into all of this, if we have time for this question, because I understand it has not much to do with what we're discussing here.
Yeah, no, actually, that's a great question.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have time. We have time. It's definitely related because Power BI is part of the Power Platform suite of tools that Microsoft offers. So let me at the in center. Just get me to the Power Platform page. Yeah. So Microsoft has pushed out, within their Power ecosystem, a suite of products that are low code, no code, that helps people to either be more digitally savvy, automate their lives, to become more data literate, and to just be more innovative through being able to create your own apps, kind of thing as well. And so the Power Platform, the Power ecosystem, if you want to call it, comprises of Power Automate, which you just seen. Another one is Power Apps, which is again a low code, no code product that they have to create very simple to simply create applications, right, without the need of the whole service development lifecycle considerations, and as well as Power Pages, which is like a single page application, which is like a portal, like web portal kind of thing. That's again low code, no code. To Power BI, which is primarily focused on giving users the tools to create and to visualize data. So if you don't have Tableau, I don't know if you're familiar with Tableau, but if you don't have Tableau, or if you're not trained on how to use Tableau, Power BI is a good alternative to help people create data visualization. So it's a data visualization tool that helps people to really make sense of raw data, especially that they have, which is just sitting on Excel sheets, which is not too meaningful perhaps, but Power BI has tools. Its suite of tools will help users to visualize that Excel data into something that's more impactful, I guess. Show you an example. Yeah, desktop. Oh, geez, okay. Does that answer your question at a high level?
No, it's perfect. Thank you so much. I actually wondered then if could this be connected to the flow? Like, could we customize the flows that we work on so that you could get some metrics on those flows?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. Because the short answer is yes, you can absolutely connect any of these 4 tools that, yeah, okay, it's of course not letting me sign in. I'm gonna try to go to the web version here, and yeah. Let me go back to, you can connect any of these 4 tools within with each other. Let me see here. Let me show you in terms of make Power Apps. Yeah, let's see. Now, actually, before I go there, immediately in terms of some data on the runs and stuff like that, that's actually already available within your Power Automate interface here. Okay, so if we go back to the flow itself. All right, so within this interface that you see here, kind of your flow dashboard, you can already see some of the run metrics, and especially if you come into the process mining preview over here, you should already be able to see the run metrics, the run time, how long it takes, and the logical, that logical workflow representation of your flow over here. So that information should already be available to you just on Power Automate itself. But let's say you did want to have further automations, right? Let's say, because Power BI is a data visualization tool, it has to pull its data from somewhere. Okay, so let's say you set up a data source to be like a SharePoint site list, let's say. All right. What's really powerful about Power Automate with Power BI is that, let's say you didn't want to update that SharePoint list manually. And what you can do, and possibilities that lie there are, for example, you create a flow to be able to automatically run on a schedule to pull and update, let's say, that SharePoint list. and that SharePoint list will feed that data into your Power BI, which is your front end for visualizing that data. And go to the Power BI. Oh. So we have a dashboard over here. Hopefully it lets me in. Yeah, great, awesome. Okay, so we have a dashboard over here, and using Power BI, right? And what we do here, what we are able to see here are effectively visualized data of effectively all Power, a couple Power applications, a couple tools on the Power and the Power ecosystem here at U of T. Okay, so you can imagine Power BI is it's a really powerful tool to create these dashboards that help users visualize the data that are available, that are otherwise available just in like a huge Excel sheet. Okay, because yeah, otherwise this raw data that you see here is just like one huge Excel sheet with like thousands of columns and entries. But what's really nice here is that we're able to create nice looking dashboards, nice looking visualizations, all within Power BI to help make sense of that data. Yeah, so that's really the key, kind of the key functionality of Power BI. But again, that data needs to be kept up to date somehow, and otherwise it just sits stagnant. Otherwise, we're going to have to, manually update that data, and we don't want to do that. And so what you can do is, you can just couple it with Power Automate to automatically pull and renew and pull feeds to update that data set.
Thank you for showing me. This is far out, and it's a lot more complicated than you make it seem. My boss is in the room, so when I crack this, I'll be coming back for a raise. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, and we hope you get that raise. So if you need help on that, we're here to help you out.
Oh, I'll be coming. I'll definitely be coming. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions, ideas, thoughts come to mind? Again, doesn't necessarily need to be about the flow that we just had. It could be in adjacent to it in the same area. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, there's 9 minutes left here. I'm happy to wrap this up. Again, you know where to find us. All channels, all roads lead to Rome here. So if you ever want to get started, if you ever want to ask some questions, get some help, right? You can always submit a ticket, right? It'll come to us, or you can join our office hours, drop in, right? No commitment there. Just want to drop in, ask some quick questions, see what other people are up to. We have our workshop that we run every 2 months. So we'll present a new topic, showcase a new topic for you guys as well. And certainly, we're here to help out if you guys have any ideas about how you can probably automate, hopefully automate your work life to make your work life easier and less manual. And yeah. We have also, like Dennis mentioned, we have our Teams channel. So if you want to engage with us there as well, it is a moderated space. So, somebody will definitely answer you. Otherwise, if there's no other questions, no other thoughts, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn and end this. And I hope you guys have the rest of your day. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.